Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel, The Life of Bree the SPT. So before we get into this video, I just want to give y'all a quick little update on what's happening in my life. So I'm a second year physical therapy student. I am currently on my little break in between summer and the fall semester. So I'm on my last 1 week break before the fall semester starts. So once the fall semester starts, including that and spring semester, I will have 2 more years left of didactic. I meant to say that I have 2 more semesters, not 2 more years, 2 more semesters. So I have fall and spring semester left. So fall 2020, spring of 2021. And then that is it for your girl for didactics. Then I will be on my way to my full-time clinical. Today's video is going to be about paying for PT school. So I have gotten questions about how you're able to live on your own and pay your bills and afford PT school. So I am living off of loans from the good old government. So I'm going to share with you guys how I paid for PT school, the whole financial aid process, and also give you guys other options for private loans, scholarships, and things like that. So continue watching this video for more. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is filling in your FAFSA or FAFSA. Let me make sure I say it correctly. So this is something I'm pretty sure most of you guys have filled out and did an application for a while in undergrad. So you will continue to do this in grad school if you need loans to pay for school. So the difference is this. When you fill out the FAFSA, Jesus, that is so hard to say because I always say it wrong. I say FAFSA, so that's what we gonna say, FAFSA. When you fill out FAFSA in undergrad, you can be qualified to receive grants, a direct subsidized loan, or a direct unsubsidized loan. In graduate school, grants are very hard to come by, and you can only qualify to receive a direct unsubsidized loan. So let's explain what these mean. So we know grants are things that are usually given to a person. Is usually based on probably financial need. Like the Pell Grant is something that is very popular that a lot of people may have received, and that's something you don't pay back. Now you have your loans. You have a subsidized and unsubsidized loan. And forgive me if you see me looking down at my computer. I have all of my notes and everything I wanted to say so I don't miss anything. So a subsidized loan is a loan that you can qualify for based on having financial need. And this loan does not acquire interest while you are still in school. The interest will only be acquired after you are finished and then to the life of the loan until you pay it off. A unsubsidized loan is a loan you do not have to demonstrate financial need to receive. It's a loan that most people get to probably cover extra expenses or whatever to pay for their cost of attendance. This type of loan does acquire interest the minute that you claim that you want to receive that loan. So that interest will continue to grow until the loan is paid off. So it stays with you for the life of the loan. Now, there's a difference between undergrad and grad school in the sense of how financial aid works. So in grad school, you can only receive a unsubsidized loan. You cannot receive a subsidized loan. You can possibly receive some grants, possibly, but like I said, it's kind of hard to come by. So when you fill out your FAFSA application, one important thing to note is that you are no longer a dependent. Even if your parents are paying all of your bills, you will not be looked at as a dependent because most people in grad school are usually 21 and up. As the government says, you're supposed to be an adult, independent, figure out some things by yourself. So when you are filling out your FAFSA application, you are not inputting your parents' information. None of that matters. It's all about you and the assets that you have and the money that you have. So whenever I fill out my FAFSA application, you fill it out every year. I always do the easy thing of connecting my application to the IRS. So when you fill out your FAFSA application, there probably will be a button somewhere along the page where it gets to you inputting your net income and your deductibles and all that other type of things, where you can click and it says IRS data retrieval. That's what I always use because I don't want to put no numbers in wrong. So I just connect it to the IRS and it kind of populates the information, and it makes the application a lot easier to finish, and I submit it. and it goes to my school. So with that application process, your financial aid department at your university will then say, hey, this is the cost of attendance. And I'm actually going to put up some screenshots of my stuff, not all of my business, but some things dealing with like my cost of attendance and the loans amount that I got, so it's kind of easier for you guys to understand. So when your school receives your FAFSA application, they will use that to determine how much loans need to be taken out based on the cost of attendance. So when I say cost of attendance, this does not include only tuition. Tuition is a portion of what your school estimates it will cost for you to live here, attend here, and kind of be successful. So cost of attendance can include tuition, room and board, personal expenses, miscellaneous expenses, transportation, and things like that. So for my university, these are the numbers from last year. My estimated cost of tuition for summer, fall, and spring, because my school, like most PT schools, you're kind of in school for 3 years, summer, spring, and fall. The whole total estimated cost of tuition is $37,001. My tuition and fees was estimated as $13,821. Books and supplies, they estimated I would spend a little bit over $1,800. Room and board around $16,000. Personal expenses around $2,600, and transportation around $2,700. So when you receive a notification from your financial aid department, it's probably going to ask you to say, hey, here's some direct unsubsidized loans. Do you want to take it out? So with direct unsubsidized loans, the max amount that you can take out per semester is $10,250 a semester. That's it. And you think, okay, that's for fall and spring. That's what they estimated for fall and spring. So total you can take out for a year is $20,500. Now, the number that I just said was $37,000. And then I only got direct unsubsidized loans of $20,500. So there is a shortage that I had to fill in with other loans. So this is how I did it. And this is only, you can only do this. I'm not saying you have to take out more loans. If you want to make this work and stretch your money out, you can. Because the numbers that I gave you, such as the books and supplies, room and board, personal expenses, and transportations, this is the amount of money my school expects me to spend. This is not, you have to spend $15,000 on room and board for the year. I live in my own place. I pay around $1,100 for rent. There are people who have roommates and they spend $400 a piece. There are people who live in smaller one bedrooms here and they pay $800. So what can seem like a little money to me can seem like a lot of money to somebody else. So that all depends. The most important thing is that $20,500 covers my tuition, which it can cover my tuition of that $13,000, which is fine. But now I need to have money so I can live on and not starve and not have a roof over my head. So that's what we're going to talk about. So once you have your loans and you say, okay, this is not enough, you're thinking about what can I do because you already reached the max for your direct unsubsidized loan, you can then apply for another loan, and that loan is the Grad Plus loan. So this is a loan that most people use to cover the rest of their expected cost of attendance. So this is another loan. It is still on the student government website, the same website you will go for FAFSA, but you will find your Grad Plus loan. So this loan application process is a little shorter, but it's nothing too crazy. It's not anything that you haven't kind of already filled out in your FAFSA. But the difference is that this one, the interest rate is a little higher. There is a application fee that kind of is like deducted out of the amount that they approve you for. I just want to pop in and make a quick correction. So it is not an application fee, but a loan fee. So a loan fee is a percentage of the loan that is proportionally deducted from the loan disbursement. So say, for instance, I was approved for a loan for $100. The Grad Plus loan fee currently is around 5%. So instead of receiving that $100 as my refund, I will receive $95 because that 5% of $100, which is $5, has already been deducted to cover my loan fee. I hope that makes sense. And also, this requires a credit check. So with a direct unsubsidized loan, that did not require a credit check or anything like that. But for this one, it does. So when you do your application process, you submit it, it will say, okay, we're going to run a credit check on you. And then we're going to approve you if you are in the clear. And then you can take out extra money. So with the Grad Plus loan, you can insert the amount of money you need, or you can send it to your school and say, my financial aid department will determine how much money I need. Now with that, you cannot receive more than your cost of attendance. So if my cost of attendance for a year was $37,000 and the amount of money I received in my direct unsubsidized loans was $20,000, so now I possibly need $17,000 to cover the rest of my cost of attendance. Okay? So I can send it to my school. They say, this is our estimated cost of tuition for this student. So therefore, they're missing $17,000. If the Grad Plus loan says, okay, cool, she's approved, we can go ahead and give that. We will go ahead and process that $17,000. Or if I didn't want all of the 17, or I just say, oh, I only need 10 or I only need 12, I can go ahead and insert the $12,000, and then, you know, the Grad Plus loan and my school can approve that, and then that money can be dispersed. So with the credit history situation, you do not want to have adverse credit history, such as foreclosures, such as a very low credit score, such as evictions and things like that. Anything that will be adverse credit history. However, if you do, there are other qualifications that you will need to meet. So all of those other qualifications can be found on the Grad Plus loan application website. So all the things that I'm talking about, I actually will link it below so you guys can easily assess it, and then you can read through and find the information that better suits you. Because I can't say everything you're running into every possible scenario. So I'm just trying to make sure you guys have a grasp of what the financial aid process is like. So for me, that is how I cover my loans. So once I receive a notice from my financial aid office saying my direct unsubsidized loan came in and my Grad Plus loan came in, that is the amount that equals my total cost of tuition. I accept them, and my financial aid department then takes that lump sum amount of money, takes out my tuition, and then they give me a check, or it's a direct deposit. I just have a direct deposit of money, and then it is up to me as an adult to therefore manage my money properly so it can last me throughout the semester. So that's what I do. So I set aside a certain amount of money to go towards my rent and all my other utilities and bills like that. I set aside, you know, money for food, all that other kind of stuff. I also set aside money for miscellaneous things. I set aside money for emergencies. Like, I'm able to live off of that. And that is me as a single individual, no kids, no anything. If you are a person who has children, you have a spouse, all those other type of things, you will fill that in with your FAFSA application, talking about your dependent, talking about how you file your taxes and all of that. So your money amount can look a little bit different from mine. I'm just talking about from a single person in Texas. That's usually how it is, okay? Personally, I decided to take my loans out through one entity as being a Department of Education. Of course, that can, you know, provide you your own loan service borrower. But I take all of mine out through the Department of Education. Everything is in one place. I know how much money I owe. I know where to go to. And to be honest, my dream is that one day we get somebody into the, somebody good into the position for Secretary of Education, honey, and we can talk about these loans. They can possibly be, wiped away, pushed aside. And then also, I got my loans through the government because if I come across an opportunity in which I can be in a loan forgiveness program, Usually most loan forgiveness programs are for government assisted loans instead of private loans. So that's why, but that is just my personal reason. I'm not saying you guys can go outside and get private loans or anything like that. This is the reason why I decided to do it. Okay, so for some other options that we have for loans are, the infamous Sallie Mae Graduate School Loan for Health Professions. So Sallie Mae is a very big private loan provider that a lot of people use. So if you want to take out extra money through Sallie Mae, or you want to use Sallie Mae instead of the federal government, that's fine. So with the Sallie Mae loan, it works the same way kind of as a Grad Plus loan, in the sense that the max amount that you can receive cannot exceed your cost of attendance. Okay, so with this loan, you also have to go through a credit check. Your interest also occurs once the loan is dispersed. Interest, you can select how you want your interest, whether you want it a variable interest. So variable interest is interest that fluctuates based on the market. So 1 year you can have your interest at like 2%, and then next year it can possibly go to 6%, 7%, or whatever. Or you can have a fixed interest rate, and that means that each year your interest rate is 2% or 4%. So interest rate can vary between 2 and 12%, and that is dependent on the market at the time, and also what agreement you have with Sallie Mae and things like that. Next is it's another popular loan, and that's the Discover Health Professions Loan. So this is also a private loan, and this can also cover up to 100% of your school costs. So if you did not want to take out any federal loans, you didn't even want to touch FAFSA and do any of that. If you wanted to take out your loan 100% through Discover Service, you just love Discover Bank, and you say, you know what, y'all are so good to me, I want to take out 100% of my school costs through Discover. You absolutely can. But like I said, with all these other loans, you cannot take out more than your estimated costs of attendance. And they also have a fixed or variable interest rate. But what makes them also a little fun, I don't say fun, it's a perk. Loans it's never fun. You have to pay them back. But a perk is that there's no application or origination fee. Another thing is that their perk that they love to display is that there is a one-time cash reward for being a good student. So that means if you have a GPA above a 3.0, you are eligible to receive a cash reward. I don't know what the cash reward is. That's not disclosed to you on the website or anything like that. I have never taken out a Discover loan, but I know people in my program who have. But if you have a 3.0, you can probably get some coins for it and treat yourself for a great semester. And another thing is that with these private loans, like I said, they do credit checks. And with Discover Loan, if you do not have the best of credits, they will allow you to have a cosigner. So sometimes with these other loans, like Grad Plus Loan, possibly Sallie Mae, if you don't have the best credit, you probably won't get approved for the loan. But with Discover Loan, if you don't have the best credit, you can put somebody on the loan who has better credit, and that can help you increase your chances of being approved for it. With the cosigner, you need to make sure that you and that person have a good relationship. First of all, it is a lot to ask someone to co-sign anything with you, okay? Whoever is co-signing that loan, understand that they love you dearly. Because to put your own credits and your own finances on the line for someone else is a big deal. So if someone co-signs a loan for you, you make sure that you are financially responsible when it's time for you to repay back your loan. So the person who helped you get the loan is not out of luck at the end of the day. Some other private loans are SoFi, College Ave, Citizens Bank, Earnest, Education Loan Finance, Empower Financing, and Stride Funding. So these loans all have a little bit of different requirements and things like that. Some of them, before you take out the loan, you already have to set up your repayment program and all those type of things. But the loans that I mentioned, such as Grad Plus, Sallie Mae, and Discover, are the most popular loans that people tend to get when they are in grad school, and specifically a health profession program. Something else that I want you guys to look out for are scholarships. So scholarships, I know it's a lot trying to search for them and see if you even meet the qualifications to apply and all these other type of things, but there are some out there. And one of them is a scholarship for disadvantaged students. So this scholarship is usually given through your program. So there's like this big, gigantic grants, and a lot of schools apply for it to receive X amount of money. And then your school, like your own program, says, okay, say for instance your program got $100,000. Okay, we have $100,000. We're going to try to spread this $100,000 out for 5 years and award 5 students each year, or whatever the situation is. I'm just making up numbers, but that is how the scholarship for disadvantaged students work. My program, we had it my first year. We didn't have it my second year. We don't have it right now. So it's a nice scholarship that can go to helping a lot of people, but it's so many programs that, like, you know, really try to get that grant, and not every year are schools approved for it. But if your school is approved for it, you apply. But the difference with this is that your school, your program, let me not say your school, like your program itself, like your physical therapy department program, they come up with how they are going to disperse the money. They come up with the qualifications for people to get the money. Like, for instance, you need to submit an essay, or you need to have a GPA over this amount, of things like that. The disadvantaged student is based on your socioeconomic background and things like that. And some other popular scholarships are through the APTA. So if you are in PT school, or you are planning to be in PT school, you should get very familiar with the American Physical Therapy Association. So this is our national association where you can receive information on everything related to PT. So anything related to advocacy, anything related to clinical practice, anything related to research, anything related to DEI, anything related to everything. So APTA have scholarships on there. Most of the scholarships, if I'm not mistaken, like the big ones, like the diversity one and the McGillen, I think that's what it's called. Those are usually reserved for students in their final year. But there are also other scholarships through certain chapters and sections. So through the APTA, you have different sections such as like orthopedics, peds, neuro, cardiopulm. What are some other big ones? Women's health. Yeah, women's health, oncology. Those sections, sometimes they can start their own scholarship. So that scholarship can be awarded to someone who's an outstanding PT student, a PTA student, someone who exhibits professionalism, whatever. There's plenty of scholarships that you can apply to. So that's why I encourage people to get involved in the APTA. You can get some money out of it. And also, you need to be involved in your professional organization. And then also, go ahead and continue to look for scholarships in your community. I know usually those scholarships sometimes are geared towards people in undergrad, but you never know. So I even do that sometimes, like every couple of months, I just get on Google and I just search in, I put scholarships for physical therapy students. And though I don't meet a lot of requirements for some, because usually they're like, oh, you need to go to this school, or you need to be a part of this, organization or something like that. It never hurts to look and see. You might get one. Also, scholarships from your former place of employment. So for my people who have worked at certain hospitals or healthcare facilities or things like that, sometimes they have scholarships for you. So definitely look into that. Talk to your supervisor. Hopefully you had a good supervisor who says, oh, we might have some money that we can create a scholarship for you. Or sometimes I know people who have workplaces and their co-workers and things like that have pulled a little pot of money together to give to them. So there is no shame in expressing your goals, because you never know like who wants to help you and things like that. Just like my last video that I made was a scholarship that a whole bunch of PT and PT students put the pot in for, to help people with their applications and things like that. So besides your former employees, also get on social media. Follow other PTs in your community. Follow student physical therapists. Like, there are people out there who are willing to give money. I'm not rich at all, by any long shots. But if I can help somebody with an application fee or things like that, I have no problem chipping in my money, because I want to see more people who look like me in the field of physical therapy. And also, look at scholarships and fellowships through your university. So, like, when I say your university, like your graduate school division, not just like your physical therapy department, like the graduate school department, because they may have scholarships, they may have fellowships and things like that, in which you can receive money if you conduct your own research, if you have a certain GPA or something like that, or you plan to work in a certain field or a particular demographic pool. So you can possibly receive scholarships through doing that. So I always say, look into things. You never know what's out there. There's usually a lot of money out there. You just have to find it, because people are not going to come knocking at your door ready to give you money. But sometimes there are, organizations that are sitting there with money and no one applies, and you can be the one that applies, and then you get the money. That has happened to me in undergrad before, where I was like one of 2 people who applied to a scholarship and I got it. So you never know. I just want to remind you guys to not think of loans necessarily as a burden. I understand no one really wants to owe people money. I get that, but unfortunately, how the world is set up and the cost of education, this is our reality. And look at loans as an investment into your future. That's the way I look at it. I think that's the best way to look at it. What can help you not take out too many loans? If you save up a bit before going to PT school, if you go to a PT school that is cheaper, or you go to a PT school that is in states, things like that can definitely help. I know PT school is a dream for a lot of us, but don't go into debt to fulfill this dream at a particular school. So with that, it's nothing wrong with having a dream school. It's nothing wrong with having that. But what I tell people is, a DPT at school A is still a DPT at school B. Now, the name of your university might, carry a little bit more weight, but at the end of the day, a DPT at school A is a DPT at school B. So don't put yourself in an unnecessary financial bind to go out of state, to go to a private school, or to go to any school that accepts you, and it's crazy expensive. So actually sit down and think about that, because you are an adult, and after you finish your program, these people expect their money back. And you can either be spending the rest of your life paying off your loans, or you can pay them off in 10 to 15 years. So that choice is yours. But I just wanted to give you guys some options for paying for PT school, and know that things will work out the way they are meant to work out. So, like I said, the hardest part is just getting into PT school. The rest of the things, we'll figure it out together. All right. So I'm so proud of you guys for getting through this application process. I know I've been chatting it up with a few of you about PT school, or some of you guys are taking a gap year and all those type of things. Like I've always said in all my videos, I'm here to help. I love sharing my advice and the things that I have gone through to even get through the PT school journey. And some of these things I had to figure out on my own, because I did not have a mentor. I did not know any PTs really that I could talk to and connect with. For sure didn't know any black PTs then. But now I built my own little, network of people I can talk to, chat with, and things like that. And I want to be able to do that for you guys. So I will leave my Instagram and my Twitter handle below, and also my email. So do not be afraid to reach out to me. I'm here to help, and I want to see us win. Also, keep telling me what you guys would like to see on other videos. I don't want to bore you guys. I wanted to do more vlogs, honestly, but it's a pandemic. So I'm just like, girl, I'll be in the house. But I probably would do one, like a day in the life of a PT student during COVID, so you can see what I do. But I thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I look forward to hearing all the good news about your PT process. And I just wish you guys all blessings and beautifulness along your PT journey. Also, remember to stay safe. Please wash your hands and wear a mask. And remember, a mask does not mean you no longer have to social distance, okay? And don't travel. Sit down at home. It's a pandemic, please. And also, vote. 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 I'm not going to say I don't care who you vote for, because I do. I will be judging you. But vote, okay? Your voice deserves to be heard. And you cannot complain about something if you did not vote to change it. Okay? Be the agent of change that you want to see in the world. Please. Please vote. Register to vote. Okay? I'll see you guys on my next video.